It's your girl Nancy Red, and this is season 3 of Mompreneurs, where every week we celebrate beautiful entrepreneurs who are simultaneously killing it as amazing moms and awesome business moguls, listening to their life stories and inspiring advice. Now, sometimes an incredible business idea is staring you right in the face, literally. And my next guests, Tracy Green and Nancy Harris, are the co-founders of Vontelle, which is an eyewear company that focuses on the 3 F's: fashion, fit, and function. And we have a lot to talk about. As you can see, I love my eyeglasses, and these ladies are charting unnavigated waters as Black-owned businesswomen in this sector. And it's really exciting to hear how it all came about and where they're going next. Welcome, ladies.
Hi, Nancy, without an E.
Hi.
I know. So she's Nancy with an E, and I'm Nancy without an E. Is this a family name? How did you get the name Nancy?
My mother just decided to name me Nancy. It was an American name. There was a soap opera character by the name of Nancy on All My Children back in the 70s. She eventually went off, but she named me after that person. And then my middle name, she named me after Bewitch, Samantha. So she took all the TV names.
Your mom was just really preparing you to be the all-American girl.
Right. All American girl.
Well, there's nothing more American than entrepreneurship, wouldn't you say?
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely.
That's what's really fun about where you are right now. But before we get into your mompreneurship, let's talk about who makes you a mom. Okay, let's start with you, Tracy. Who is in your household? And then Nancy, you follow suit.
So I have a lovely son. His name is Jackson. He's a college graduate, so he's 23, about to be 24. So I'm actually an empty nester now. But I drive him nuts, and he comes over, and he's just, Mom, I'll come take you out. Mom, I'll help you out with this. So I love being a mom.
For me, I have a 9-year-old son. His name is Gabriel. And I will always be, once a mom, always a mom, no matter what. So her son, Tracy, he comes over for everything. Ma, I need you to help me fill out an application. Ma, I need you to do this for me. So you just never let that go. I'm still brand new as a mom, it feels like. So I'm still doing everything for my son. So yeah.
I love
I have
it.
that
And
9-year-old and my husband. I'm my husband's mom. You have a husband. You are the mom.
girl, the streets. It's so real. I have, well, he's my father in many ways too, but
Yep.
I do sometimes feel like I have 3 children.
Yep. Right.
But I'm a baby too. I feel bad throwing him under the bus because I'm a mess without him. So there we are.
I agree.
But so obviously motherhood came before entrepreneurship in both of your cases.
Yes,
Yes.
very much so. But still, I used to have a job in the C-suite, and I still work very hard as a CFO, and having a child and trying to navigate time to do my job. When I was at work, I felt guilty that I wasn't at home. And when I was at home, I felt guilty I wasn't at work.
It's how it works. And that's one of the reasons we do Mompreneurs is because it's nice to have a side hustle that can sustain you if something happens, for your family. But also, it's nice to sometimes be able to work in your pajamas. Okay, so here we are. You have this incredible business. Tell us about, first and foremost, what is Vontelle?
Vontelle is a fashion-forward luxury eyewear brand that makes glasses for diverse features. So if you have a larger nose bridge, chubby cheeks like I do myself, the head structure, you need longer temples, you want to go all the way behind your ear, you will love our eyewear. Our designs are made for people with diverse features.
So you're telling me that it's not normal for your eyeglasses to smush your face in and to leave imprints?
Absolutely not. You should not have permanent scarring. And so part of the reason that we developed Vontelle Eyewear is because my mom, who has been wearing glasses for 42 years, has permanent indentation scarring on the inside of her nose because the bridge was too narrow. And the thing that the eyewear industry focuses on is fashion, but they disregard fit and function. So those are the things we decided to combine: style, fashion, fit, and overall function. Because if your glasses don't fit you properly, they're not functioning right. Because what you do in the middle of the day is take your glasses off because they're uncomfortable, because either you have a headache from the temple being too short, or you have a tension headache, or you have the nose pain here. So there are many reasons, and glasses should not be painful. They are a medical necessity, and they should add to your experience overall. So they should match your personality and your character. And that one over there loves to model different glasses. So
I know. I feel like I'm on QVC. You're giving the explanation, and then like we've got the excellent styling right here.
yeah,
And it came about because you had glasses you liked. You were living your best glasses life. They weren't the most comfortable, but then you lost them.
Yeah. In
Tracy.
2019, I lost a pair of glasses. And of course, glasses are expensive when you add the frame plus the prescription. So I went crazy looking for them in the car, outside, maybe in my bag. And when I couldn't find them, I was upset. So that was the first frustration. Then you go to look for a replacement pair, and all the glasses look the same. But most importantly, they were all too tight. I have chubby cheeks, and they were just too small. And I'm like, what fit is this? I feel like did I get that much bigger? I was like, maybe I gained weight that much. But then I started to go to several optical shops, and the glasses were just too small. And that's when I called Nancey to complain. I said, Nancey, this is just ridiculous. They just don't fit. And, Nancey being the entrepreneur that she is, she's like, don't worry about it. We can do this. And I'm like, what? And she books a trip for us to go to Paris during Fashion Week. And we go to the largest eyewear expo in the world. And we walk and walk for like 3 days. And then we realize it was an aha moment. This is why glasses hurt. We're not being represented. We're not making glasses for our features. There's nobody that looks like us that's creating and designing and manufacturing glasses. And that's when we decided that let's try this. Let's try it. Let's just see if we can do it.
Okay, Nancey, how do we get from I lost my glasses to yes, let's start a big old business on it? Like, what was it? That was it literally that simple?
No. So we were in the car talking, and we said, what if someone made glasses that actually fit and also had style as well as fashion and fun? And so I wanted to add culture to the glasses. Tracy was interested in the better size, better fitting. I was concerned about having glasses that, for instance, had patterns, like these have an Ankara pattern on them. So we wanted glasses that represented the culture. These also have a pattern. These are our own pattern that we created. But we wanted to see glasses that reflected more color, that had more flair, and overall more personality for who we are as a people. And we said, well, we are probably the only ones with this issue. We learned quickly that this is not it's not a singular. It's all people from different, various, diverse backgrounds, whether you're Asian and you have a low nose bridge, like I have a low nose bridge, whether you're Hawaiian and you have a wider, rounder face, if you're Polish and you have a more distinct nose. And the glasses in the industry right now focus on petite and narrow bridges, meaning that the bridge size is generally really narrow because the eyes on people, more European people, tend to be closer together. So we needed to make them wider to match our head size and just overall bigger to fit who we are as a person. It was like Tracy said, the glasses were so tight. She had these indentations, which are now gone. And so that's what helps to make the lines go away. Wearing glasses that fit your face properly. See how she's putting her fingers underneath there? Your glasses should not rest on your face. They should actually have a little bit of room. Yeah. And your glasses are resting. So they should
Now
have
I'm
a
over
little
here
bit of
like, wait.
room. They should have a little bit of room so that they don't leave permanent scarring, because over time that leaves an impression on your face. Over time that leaves dark indentations on your nose. Over time you have these headaches that seem to not ever go away because your body has been conditioned to just adjust to what's been happening. And you don't need to do that. Your glasses need to be better fitting and comfortable. But we don't think that way. We just accept what the industry has given us as a standard. But we're not standard. We're not monolithic.
Nancey and Tracy don't think that way, and that's how Vontelle came to be. But first, okay, you had this conversation, and then how do you figure out you actually need to go to the trade show in Paris? Because one of the things
Research.
that this show is about is, okay, many of us have ideas. We have things we really want to accomplish, to do. But bringing it to fruition is just a very different story, especially when you have a 9-year-old or an empty nester that you treat like a 9-year-old.
But early on, he was still, when we started in
Yeah.
2019, he was just starting college. So you have debt, you got bills to pay, right? But I think, the pandemic happened as well. Everything happened kind of serendipitously. Everything was happening at the same time. We had the conversation. I lost my glasses. We started to do some research and some emails and looking around and see what's out there. You have to do research. Everyone has a great idea, but if you don't do your research to see what's out there, what's happening in the landscape, in the industry, you can't move forward. And that's how Nancey found out about the summit, the actual fashion
Exhibition.
exhibit we went to in Paris, because she saw that there's an eyewear summit and we're talking about eyewear. So we said, well, it's Paris, let's just go, right? So I think you have to do your research before you do anything, and don't underestimate that you need to do that. I think people think they could just have an idea and just go. No, you want to know all the parts, all the players, and it's a lot of steps. Any idea, you need to do the business plan. You need to write out what you're going to do. You need to, get an attorney. You need to get a website. You need to do a logo. You got to get a trademark. You got to do all these steps. So it's not easy, but as long as you know what the steps are and you write them down, you could be successful at anything.
Yep.
And what's interesting is what you said, the research is very key in going to a trade show. There are many businesses that I've wanted to try. I always tell everyone I have, like, for every one thing that works out, at least 15 things that fizzled. I can't help it. But it's mostly because I look into it and I'm just like, this thing doesn't have legs. One time I went to a hair expo. I had a product idea I knew was going to be perfect. I went to a hair expo, talked to a lot of people, and I realized this was not a game I needed to get in. This was not going to work out well for me. Too much competition or products that already served a purpose. That's not what you experienced in Paris. You actually realized we are onto something. What happened when you entered this trade show? Tracy and Nancey, ready to be fly and find your people. Did you find your people at the trade show?
Absolutely not. So, as Tracy said, 30, we walked what would be the equivalent of maybe 4 football fields over the course of 3 days. 37,000 people strong, eyewear designers, manufacturers, everything that is required into making the eyeglasses and even the equipment for exams, etc. Everything is available on that floor. And we didn't see anyone that looked like us. And the few people, I will let me backtrack. We did see about 20 people maybe in total that looked like us, but they were optometrists and ophthalmologists there to supply their shops. They own optical shops and they were there to buy glasses wholesale. So, to answer your question, we didn't see anyone there that looked like us making glasses or designing glasses. And that's a whole different level playing field. It's all European and Asian. 99.9% of the industry is European and Asian and men.
The male and
So,
male dominated.
and yeah,
Yeah.
male dominated. So you're talking about we're not even a flash in the pan. We don't exist when it comes to this. And we were never a thought or even an afterthought. So we said, if not us, then who? And so we move forward with this idea.
And we were able to meet our manufacturer there. So that
Yeah.
was the best part of us doing it. So not only did we do the research, but we go there and we meet someone. We met a couple manufacturers there,
Yeah.
but then we meet a manufacturer, a couple of them, to do samples for us, right? Because you got to get the samples made first. So we did that whole process to see if we really can do this. And then we had to tell them, no, you got to make this bigger. And they're like, what? So some of them fell out, right? Because they didn't understand that we needed to deconstruct and reconstruct the glasses, because the regular vanilla glasses, that's the problem. They don't fit us. So some dropped out. By the time we got down to the top three manufacturers, one was overcharging us. So we had to boot him. And then the last two, one did a much better sample for us with the colors and patterns. Like Nancey's wearing a pair with the purple pattern on them. It's really hard because that's another thing, we wanted to come out different, right? And no one was putting African or Ankara prints or batik patterns or, Latin Caribbean patterns on glasses. So we said, okay, for us to stand out, not only are we focusing on the fit, but we got to focus on the look. And as Nancey said, we wanted culture, and we wanted our culture in the glasses. So thank God for that trip, because right after that trip, that was in 2019, the pandemic starts. And we had to do everything through WhatsApp because we couldn't fly to,
And
we was going to go
Zoom.
back to meet with our manufacturer in person again, but we couldn't. So everything was happening through virtual meetings. And we're here talking to you. So we did it.
Well, in some ways, what a blessing, because people who normally only do in person had to get with the program. So you probably got a lot more out of WhatsApp and Zoom than would have been possible before the pandemic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you look at the different styles and shapes, another thing that people should understand, when you're trying to change the mold of how something is manufactured, which is basically what you're doing, that comes at a cost. Talk about why, from a manufacturer perspective, most glasses have the same fit. It saves a lot of money in the manufacturing process.
It
Right.
saves money. Plus, they are the ones doing the clinical trials. If you are the maker, the creator, the salesperson, the everything, you're targeting one group of people. So you're going to tell the manufacturers, you own the manufacturing shops. You're going to say, we're targeting these people, and you make for yourself, right? So African Americans, Hispanic, we're not included in clinical trials, right? I was telling a friend before that it was a big article in the newspaper about when they first did the visual on your iPhone. People who were dark skinned, you couldn't open your phone with it because they didn't put us in the clinical trials. So if you was trying to use your face, facial recognition to open up your phone, and you had a darker than my complexion and darker, it wouldn't work. So if we're not included, then we're not going to be able to be represented and be able to use the products the way we need to use them. So that's what's been happening for years. They've been making glasses. They don't look at our nose structure and our face, and we just buy what's available. And you think about somebody who, like, Shaquille O'Neal, right? Before there was big and tall stores, he had to wear regular size clothes that didn't fit, right? So it was just like there was nobody making it. I just wear what's available, and that's what's been happening for years for glasses. And now there's a lot of brands out who are focusing on different faces and face shapes, and we really realized that there was no one focusing on the African American and Hispanic face. But like, as Nancey said, when we started, that was our focus. But now we found there's multiple of faces, ethnicities that can fit our glasses, and they love it because they fit light,
The sea
they
of
fit our
faces that
nose.
need
Yeah, they
Vontelle.
can fit. You can get sunglasses, you can get regular glasses. We do prescriptions. Early on, we only wanted to do glasses, and then we gave a pair to my mom for free, of course, and she paid $500 just for the prescription. And I screamed, and I said, our community cannot afford that. So we worked really hard to find a really good partner to do the lenses. And now you can get progressive lenses with us for $110. You can get single vision with us for $85, not $500.
Wow.
So that was the other part. It's a medical necessity. I've been wearing glasses since I was like 12. And to pay $500 just for the prescription and another $200 or $300 for the lenses, now you know why people go crazy when they lose them.
Yes, yeah. So I'm glad you turned your setback into a setup for this company. But they're expensive, and starting a business is expensive too. How much to get these molds, to go to Paris, to have these conversations, to get the samples, to get what you needed to get the ball rolling with your business? How much did you have to invest?
Well, we had great careers prior to this, and we had savings. So we pulled from our savings. I won't say the amount because that's putting too much out there. However, it was a substantial amount. Fortunately, we did not have to go for a loan, but the initials, as far as the prototypes were concerned, as far as the travel, that probably ran us maybe about 10K. And then we went and did 37 styles to launch with. And we did a great website. So that's where the prices start. the cost starts to accumulate. But initially, it was probably between the trademark, the logo, the samples, and the trip may have been in upwards about 10 to 12K just to start.
And so we've got this. You get there, you put that in, you say, okay, we can do this. You get the over 30 styles, you get the website. Was it an example of if you build it, they will come? Or did you go in with these orders of these 37 styles, knowing that you had some of the amazing partnerships and opportunities that you ended up having?
The only partnership we had starting was Tracy and myself. There was no partnership
Oh
with
my
anyone.
gosh.
And we also
No
started with, we automatically started with, we wanted to give back. So we did start with WIN, the Women in Need. That was a
We
partnership,
did
but
that a
that's
year
us
later, though.
giving back to
Yeah,
That's
an
not making
organization.
money.
Right? That's
that's
not
not
making
making
money.
money, and that was and
So
that
we
was
had,
a little bit after.
yeah, I
That
mean, it
was
was
way after we
literally two
started.
to three. No, it was like three to. You started talking to Darlene that December. We launched in October. We kicked off the partnership in May, so it wasn't that much further off. If you really go back, nonetheless, we decided that we wanted to do that very early on, and we did not have any major partners at that point. Only partners we had were friends and family who went in and supported us initially, and for that we are forever grateful for their support, because those same people still come back and purchase from us and refer additional people. But our partnerships really started to kick off in 2022. Uh, Outside of Nickelodeon, which again was something that we had to pay to get done, those partnerships, as far as stores and things like that, did not come until later.
Okay, so this is interesting. So you start to come in 2019. You have the idea. By 2020, you have the 37 styles. Is that approximately
Yes,
right?
we
So
launched
by
we
Yeah.
launched our
2020,
website October 2020. So from 2019 in Paris, it took us a year and a little couple months. October 2020, we launched our website. No partners, just me and Nancy, thinking we're going to break the internet with our
Yep.
37 designs, and we put our website up, and we just wait. And then we realized, oh wow, we got to create special social media. We got to do all these other things. So then we created a social media account, and then we started to get the word out. Hey, try our glasses, do this, do that, and it's kind of organically grown because we didn't pay for ads at the very beginning. We didn't have any money. We put all the money into the 37 designs, so we had to find ways to get it out. And social media is the best way for a new company to get their message out, right? So posting on our Facebook, our LinkedIn, all these things, and saying, hey, we exist, and focusing on why we exist. We have beautiful patterns and designs, and we're gonna fit your face better, right? And that really helped. And we had a friend who actually, before the website was even out formally, she got a pair of glasses in August because we were still building it, and she like kind of got in. We were testing, and we started doing promos early, and she got in to buy a pair of glasses. So we were like, oh my god! So it was great, and thank God for friends and family. Like Nancy said, we wouldn't be here if that didn't happen.
so what was the moment in 2021 that got you to 2022? Because here we are now. You've got these relationships. You're in places like Saks Fifth Avenue. You're doing well. You're on nationwide TV. What was 2021 like? What was the moment where you kind of had a big break? You had a moment that said, okay, we might be able to actually like do this.
2021, I think our first big break was getting a Nickelodeon licensing agreement. We were on a call early on in February of 2021 that was a call with a lot of eyewear and eye enthusiasts as well as professionals in the industry coming together. And we were on that call thanks to a friend of mine from junior high school. And she told us to be on this call. We jumped in and we were brand new. We didn't know anyone at that point. And our mentor, I will start with that. We met our mentor on that call. We thought that he was a store, not knowing. And then he called back and said, I'm not a store. I am a eyewear manufacturer. I also have an eyewear company, and these are my brands. And he had well-known brands. And he said, but I would love to help you ladies navigate the industry. So that was the very first break that we got. He called us back in maybe March or April. And then Nickelodeon reached out to us and said, "We love your patterns. We saw what you ladies are doing. Would you consider doing a licensing agreement with Nickelodeon Paramount and launch your first eyewear for kids?" And we were like, "Sure, we'll do it." And we had to look up what licensing entailed. We reached out to our attorney. I mean, we didn't even know all of the details. We understood some of licensing, but as far as the really dirty details that are in there, we didn't know. We were surface. We knew everything that happened on the surface of a licensing agreement. We didn't know the dirty details. So our attorney walked us through it. They gave us like a 30-page agreement. We navigated that. So those are the first two things. And then Tracy applied for a grant and we got our first grant. So we had a couple of things that kept us going. And we were like, wow, we're on the right track. But there was not just one thing, it was a couple of things together that helped us pull 2021 together so that we could get to 2022, which ended up being a phenomenal year for us.
Yeah. So just to add, in 2020, as I said, we launched our website October 2020. By December 2020, I have quit my job and I'm going full throttle into the business for 2021. On that call that Nancey mentioned, we didn't just sit there. This was my first time really using Zoom because, we wasn't using Zoom before because the pandemic, we wrote down everyone's name and email and we emailed every single person on that call. So it wasn't like they just reached out to us. We reached out to them first. We was like, hey, we were on that call. We heard you speak. Hi, my name is Tracy. My name is Nancey. We emailed every person on that call more than once. And it took them a while, but they did get back to us. Nickelodeon was also on that call, as she said, and they reached out to us. But we emailed everyone. So I want people to realize that you have to take the effort. We didn't wait for people to call us. We could have probably copied the chat, but we didn't know how to do that back then. I didn't know how to copy all the names. So I hand wrote, if you see my book, I hand wrote everyone's name. There was probably like 50 people on that call.
Right.
I hand wrote everyone's name, the whole call, so we could email everybody. So I just wanted people to understand how much work it took to get there. And then I live by the motto that the worst thing that people can say is no. So I ask for everything. I ask for what I want. So very early on, I get a newsletter called The Skim every day. And these is two women who own and, ran the Skim. And they were looking for women to promote. So I said, hey, do you do BIPOC brands? Would you promote us for free? Because we have no money to pay for ads. They said they would promote us. That February, we got 14,000 hits to our website. And all I did was ask. And I would email every publication, anybody who was in marketing, would you post us? Would you show us? Would you put an ad? And they said yes. And that literally opened us up to a whole new group of people. So I would tell people, you got to you got to be a little scrappy. You can't be afraid to ask. What's the worst that they could say? No, or maybe, or not now. But I still keep going back. Even when they say no, I say, okay, next month, hey, is no yes yet? Can we do it this week?
Right.
Because, again,
that's our thing.
You need the support, all right? And I was a CFO before, right? So I've always had tough and crucial conversations, but you can't take it personally because it's always business related, right? They don't know us. We're new. So their no's is because you're not, a popular brand. So why would we do this for you? But because of what happened with George Floyd around that time, everybody was looking to do work with Black-owned businesses. And we seized that moment and we applied to a lot of grants and we won a lot of grants and we asked people to do stuff for us and they did it. So I would tell every entrepreneur out there, don't be shy or afraid to ask. And if they say no, don't take it personally, but just keep going back.
I think that's so important. They always say an unasked question is an automatic no. But also, it seems that you don't just ask people in the industry. It seemed like you got a lot of support from your friends and family, like the junior high connect that got you on that call. How did that come about? When people are watching this and having their own ideas and thinking about how they can themselves make their dreams come true, like how do you reach out to people that because that's really hard.
Yeah. Yeah. So my girlfriend from junior high school, what happened is when Tracy and I launched, I sent out an email to everyone that was in my book. I emailed everyone and said, I'm starting this new company. Please help us spread the word, because realize that your network is your net worth, and they are the ones that will help spread the fire. So when things go viral, it's not by accident. It's because someone liked you enough to help spread the word and get it out there. So she knew that I had this eyewear line. I had not spoken to her for probably 10 years, but I sent her an email. I had not physically spoken to her, but we contacted each other on Facebook. I knew that she was in Jamaica getting her degree, and I would reach out to her every now and again. And she wore glasses. And like Tracy, she had been wearing glasses since she was 13, and she had a very heavy prescription. So I knew automatically, I was like, let me reach out to Tina. So she said to me, I got this email. I don't even know how they got my name. I shouldn't even be on this list, but it says an eyewear industry professional networking opportunity. And she said, but I think you should be on this call. And she literally sent me the Zoom invite, everything that they sent to her. She emailed it to me, and the rest is history. So had she not sent that to me, we would have gotten down that road, but it would have taken us a lot longer, honestly, because that was just the invitation and the introduction to get us the foothold in the industry that we needed. And it was at the right time. And timing is everything.
It is.
Timing is everything, and it takes a village. It takes
Yes,
people like that to just get you the hookup. But it
absolutely.
also takes adding to your professional team as well, because at some point, every business has to go from the two of y'all to other people on this payroll. Who is on your team that is very influential, that has helped you to get into these stores like Saks Fifth Avenue, that has helped you get these grants, or helped you navigate licensing deals when you realize, wait, what, I had to pay for this? Wait, what's going on?
Yeah,
So
I
lucky
will
enough,
say,
Nancy and I have both had
right.
careers before this, right? So me being a CFO and her being a sales exec, we knew most of what we had to do in the landscape. As we added onto our team, our website developer, I mean, we knew nothing about creating a website. She's been great and added value. She's a graphic designer as well. She actually designs, Kelsey designs our kids' eyewear collections for Nickelodeon. She works with kids. She loves it. So she adds a lot of value there. We have our operations team and logistics, Stephen, who handles all the shipping and packing, and that's a whole nother job that we were doing ourselves. I was doing all the shipping. I mean, I was every job. I was shipping, customer service. If somebody emails, when you first start out, it was just us, and we slowly started to add people on. We added a virtual assistant who helped us with our content. She does a lot of our content writing for our emails and stuff like that. But everything else, I mean, the mentor that we met on that call, he has really helped us and introduced us to a lot of places, which is we have been able to get into those doors like America's Best and Sam's Club and stuff like that. The Nickelodeon, we got on that call. That was like being at the right place at the right time. And then, like Nancy said, we talked to our attorney and everyone else to kind of help us guide us through the legal pieces. I always say, make sure you have an attorney because you don't want to sign a bad deal. So those things are really good. And I read everything. I mean, we still read it ourselves just to make sure we knew what we were signing and what we were doing. So having all these people work with us and consultants that we can call on has really helped us grow.
Yeah, I was going to say the Saks Fifth Avenue happened because of a friend that I worked with when I was at Black Enterprise, and his fiance or girlfriend. He said, "Your glasses are so dope; they should be in Saks." And he gave me his girlfriend's info. He texted me that night, and he said, "I didn't know your glasses were so dope, sis." And he said, "I'm going to give you my girl's information. Reach out to her," and I did. And she saw the glasses, she loved them, and she put us in contact with the right people. So it's all about, again, network, because he just saw me randomly. Once again, Mike, shout out to you, Mr. Rush. And he was just so gracious in sharing his contact. What you realize is that there are people who will say that they're going to help you and never deliver, and those that deliver all the time for you because they believe in the vision and your brand. And those are the type of people that you need on your team or just in your circle of friendship. And you don't have to speak to everybody every day. But if you had a strong foundation to begin with, or even a semi form of a friendship, or association, people will want to help you.
In particular, if you have a great product.
Yes, that matters.
So, what is your advice to other moms watching this who want to somehow, in the chaos of motherhood, use their gifts, use their ideas, and actually get going on a business, not necessarily an eyeglass business, but something that they are passionate about?
Absolutely.
I mean,
I would
I think being a
say,
mom is, God,
right.
I was going to say being a mom is a 24-hour, 24/7 job. No matter what, you're going to be working as a mom all the time.
Mhm.
You have to just carve out time for what is important to you, right? So it could be your job, it could be this new entrepreneurship journey that you're going to take, and you will put it together, your time and your days, the same way you would do anything else. This is the amount of time I'm going to work on my business. This is the amount of time I'm going to be home cooking dinner. This is the amount of time I have to take my kids to school. These are the days that I'm not going to work no matter what, because I have to spend with my family, right? So early on, we were working 7 a.m. to 7, 24/7. We were always working. Nancy's up to deal with overseas. We're trying to do all this stuff. But now we're at a point finally. And once you get the business running and everything is working, we shut down. Like I shut down at 7 o'clock. I'm not working on Saturdays I work on Saturdays, but I won't work on Sundays. So you start to kind of get into a rhythm, and then you're able to do those things, right? So, my son plays sports, and I would have to, even when I was a CEO at CFO at the time, I had to say, listen, his games are on these days. I'm not working these days. I'm going to leave work early to go to his game during the week. So you will work that into your schedule, and you'll still be successful. I think moms just have to realize that, yes, you can't be everything to everyone, but as long as you schedule it, I can't live without my calendar. And you put in time. This is the time you're going to make sure you eat, because we won't eat. Us women will just keep working, 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 and you'll pass out. Don't do that. Put time on your calendar. I'm going to eat lunch at this time. I'm going to make dinner at this time. I'm in meetings in this time. And then you schedule it. And then the better you get with time management, you get to do everything that you want to do.
So for me, I would simply say that you're worth the risk. The amount of time and effort that you put into making other companies successful and rich, you can do the same thing for yourself. And that's important for you to understand, that it's okay to fail, but how you handle that and manage it is what really matters. So we all fall, but you just have to pull yourself back up and come out with a strategic plan on what lesson did you learn in that, and say, you know what, I'm going to do things a little bit differently, because, you know, you don't want to keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. The reason you're not getting to where you want to be is because you're making the same mistakes, or you're being repetitive. So just understand that you are worth the risk. I wouldn't say jump out automatically if you don't have the funds and the money to do it. Do it until you have enough saved and you have that safety net, and then you can take the deep dive. You can now jump in all the way. But if, especially if you're a mom and you have a family, we heard a woman at an eyewear function that Tracy and I went to earlier this year say that she told her son, it's going to be tight this year, but once I come up for air, you will never have to worry about it again, because mommy's going to make sure this company is super successful. And she is. And now she's like high end. She's in all these major stores across the country. So it's what you put into it. And don't be afraid to use your network, because those people are going to be the ones to help you pull up and do it. And crazy enough, sometimes it's the people you never thought would help you are the ones that are the most helpful.
I love that. This is such a good message, and you all practice what you preach, because sometimes I will talk to entrepreneurs, and they're just like, I had to be home with my kid. I already quit. What did I have to lose? Or they have a career that there was no, it was like, kind of like a ceiling on their careers. They said, what do I have to lose? It's not like I was going anywhere with my career. Both of you were very successful. Like you were a CFO, you were a sales executive. That's a difficult job to leave. Did you ever, especially in the beginning days, wonder, did I make a mistake? Should I have just kept my 401k and my health insurance?
No. I'm always going to bet on me. I'm always going to bet on myself because, again, we're worth it.
I would say definitely no. I do miss the money. The that part I'm not going to lie. A paycheck every 2 weeks. It was a very great paycheck. And my career before helped me buy real estate and do a lot of other things. So I'm not going to negate that. I do miss that part. But it was a time for change in my life. I had a health event. I have a rare form of diabetes. I have type 1 and type 2. And it happened, and then the pandemic happened. And my doctor said if I would have caught COVID, I could have died. I lucky to this day I never caught COVID, but at the time my immune system was so bad. And working in healthcare, it was just really horrible. I was in Brooklyn, in the hub of all the deaths that was happening as a result of COVID. We had the refrigerator trucks, so I worked at a hospital system that was really heart wrenching, and I think it actually helped me put my life in perspective. And it was kind of like, like Nancy said, if I didn't bet on myself, and the worst thing that can happen, I can die. I might as well
Yeah.
just try it. So I kind of took a leap of faith and said, listen, my health is more important. I had to get my health back. So that was the main reason why I quit at the end of 2020. I had lost like 50 pounds. I was so thin. So I was working on my health, but at the same time, my mind was still the same. So I worked, as my husband would say, go work on that little eyewear business. And today he loves when I remind him of that, because he was just like, just stay out of my hair, keep busy, because we were all in the house during pandemic, right? And even though I was nursing my health back, I needed something to do. And focusing on the eyewear business was my thing to do. But in those 4 years, that little eyewear business is now in 900 stores nationwide with America's Best. We are in Saks Fifth Avenue. We partnered with VSP Insurance. So now if you have insurance, you can buy our glasses through them. We have grown the brand to a, 7-figure company. So, as Nancy said, don't be afraid to bet on yourself. It won't happen overnight. It's taken us a couple years to get here. Um, but we bet on ourselves and we push through.
I love that. Okay, that's what your husband's saying. What is your son saying? How does he feel? Is he very impressed by his mompreneur mommy?
He's very impressed. My son is an artist. He's an art major. He actually helped us with our hip hop collection. He did some of the designs that you see on our website for the hip hop, with the 50th hip hop collection, which we also have a licensing agreement with them as well. So he's impressed. I think he's always seen his mom as a boss, because I was a CFO, and I come in the house like, pow, 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 we got to do this, we got to do that. That's who I am. But him to see that I was successful in that realm and now successful in my own business, he now wants to have his own business. So, we're afraid, but of course we're like, go for it, because he's young, right? Do it. So I can't walk the walk and preach it and not say, do it for yourself. So he's stepping out to be an entrepreneur as well.
My 9-year-old just is so happy to have mommy home when he comes home from school. When he comes in the house, he says, "Mommy!" and he runs and he hugs me, and it's the best feeling in the world. So he doesn't know anything other than mommy being home for him. But if I had a 9 to 5 when I was working in the industry, I didn't get home until 8. I wouldn't be home until he was probably in bed already, right? He'd see me in the morning because I'd be there to put him on the bus, but he wouldn't see me in the evening because I used to work such long hours. So even though I do still work long hours, I'm home and I can take a moment and just shut it down and give him the attention that he needs. So it's something that I'm afforded that I would not have been able to do in in my previous life. So I'm grateful for it.
I love that. You also wouldn't be afforded a company that you and your bestie created that's worth 7 figures. All right, well, our time is almost up, but I can't let you leave without participating in my favorite segment. It's called Mompreneurs Manifestation. And I ask all of our guests what's next for you and your company, what you're hoping comes next, and how we here who are listening and watching can help manifest success in this endeavor for you.
Ooh, that's big. I would say we want world domination, right? We know that Vontelle can be a beautiful big business, right? We can do eyewear for every country, Africa, South America, because we're all about diverse fit, and we know those people need our glasses. We know we can expand to accessories, bags and purses and even perfume, and who knows, maybe even apparel. I think Vontelle is limitless, and I would love all the moms to participate with us, ride along with us, follow our journey. You need glasses, you need something, tell us, create it for you. We listen to our customers. We get a lot of feedback, and because of that feedback, we did a Divine collection that is for our Divine Nine sororities and fraternities, because everybody said, can you get red glasses? Can you do blue glasses? Can you do this? And we listened to our, momatures, right? Our moms and our clients. So we are here to listen to you and say, what do you need? What products? And how can Vontelle build on our experience and what we do now for you? How can we build for you?
I would just have to agree. It is limitless what it is that we can do, and we're not putting any type of barriers around our success. So I will say that at one point, you say, I can't wait to make 1 million. And then you get there, and it's like, okay, I can't wait to make this, and I can't make, no, I can't wait until I can change lives everywhere. And that's it. I'll just end it with that.
I
Well
love
said.
that. You guys are just the best. Okay, Nancy and Tracy of Vontelle, tell us where everyone can find you and learn more about everything that you do. It ain't just glasses. It's about to be so
No.
much more.
Yes, you can find us at www.vontelle, Vontelle, as you can see with my name, .com. And if you happen to go to America's Best, you can also find us there. You can also find us if you have VSP Insurance. You can go on their website, Iconic, and you can also find us on Saks Online. So there are a couple of places, even Fair and Amazon. And for children's glasses, you can find our children's glasses on Walmart and Amazon. So you can check us out. We keep expanding and adding different locations every time. And also, please go into your local optometry shop and ask for them to carry Vontelle. That's also very important. We are carried also in independent eye care practitioners across the country, and we're trying to grow that. There are over 10,000 of them, and we're only in about 100. So we have so much
Wow.
more to go, and we need your voice to carry out loud like a bullhorn and say, do you have Vontelle? If you don't, please reach out to them. We'd love to continue to support you if you support them. It's important. Thank you.
I mean, that was impressive. That you can tell that's a sales executive. You were like, I'm hitting all my points. Let me tell you, these are these streets that you can find us in. Is it the same line everywhere? Is the same line in Saks? That's in, on your website. That's on Amazon, or are there specialty lines? Like, is the same children's eyewear at Walmart? That's at the independent optometrist or optical
Mhm.
center.
So at America's Best, the line is called the Official by Vontelle collection. It's a whole nother collection. You only can find that collection right now at America's Best. So the Official by Vontelle collection. Everywhere else, it's our Vontelle. You can go to our website or you can go to Amazon and you'll see the Nickelodeon collection on both websites. Saks is the same line. But the America's Best is a special collection. And we're
I
hoping to
love
do
that.
more collections for others as we partnered with like Kadeem Hardison, and we've done his flip up glasses.
They're
That
so
he his
great.
new aviators. Yes, we've done.
Okay, we need to talk about this. Okay, how did the Kadeem Hardison partnership come about? Because when I saw those flip up glasses, someone, there couldn't be anything better or blacker. It was the best thing I've ever seen. I was like, come on. It's just like, if ever why we need black owned eyewear companies was a picture.
Yes. So his manager reached out to us on LinkedIn, and we respond to everything, whether it's you can get in our jump in our DMs, we respond. So he sent us an email. Now we get things like that all the time, and so we never know if it's real. But he did come and he said, we're looking for a black owned eyewear company that they also went to an HBCU, and Tracy and I fit the bill down to every checkbox that they were looking for. We were that. So he came, he gave us his specifics, And it was a 2 year in the making because he was traveling for different TV shows and different movies that he is appearing in overseas. So trying to get down with him and his approval, it made the process just a little bit more challenging, but he was committed because as soon as he landed and he was able to see things, he responded. And he's one of the best partners. We have great partners just in general, but he's the newest and one of the greatest partners because you think celebrity, he's amazing. He is absolutely amazing. And every time he goes somewhere, he mentions Vontelle and we know it because we get a sale. He's amazing.
Well, you all are amazing. I could talk to you forever, and I appreciate you sharing your talents, your wisdom, some of the inside scoop about these entrepreneurial streets. And the inspiration, just go for it. Bet on yourself. And I love what you said about the mom who told her son it's going to be a tight year, but that's what we got to do to get to where we got to go. And that brings me so much joy. And you all have just been such a wonderful duo to talk to. Thank you so much for being here.
No, thank you.
Thank you, Nancy, for having us.
All right, and thank you all for listening to and watching Mompreneurs. Just a reminder, a brand new episode goes live each Monday on Urban One Podcast Network, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Visit urban1podcasts.com. That's urban1podcasts.com. Mompreneurs is brought to you by the Urban One Podcast Network and MadameNoire. Created, produced, and hosted by me, Nancy Wren. Executive produced by Sarita Wesley, Allison McGovna, and Tanya Hoffler-Moore. Produced and edited by Jiminique Miller.